Hello survivors, hi family and friends, this is Roy from Bootsy Sweetheart's Guide to Life and Other Disappointing Experiences with a crochet video. Many years ago, Dusty Springfield wrote, "Like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning." Well, Dusty must not have been a crocheter, because we know that so many of our projects begin and end with circles. And the beginning and the end of a circle can be a problem for some crocheters, but it's very, very important. We're going to do 4 or 5 rows of a flat circle for projects coming up on my channel. So many of my projects, and I'm sure it's true for a lot of crocheters, begin with circles. The other option is a long line of single or double crochets. So the purpose of this video and this project is just to show you how I make flat circles for a lot of my projects. And for this demonstration, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows around. And this suffices for a good many of my projects. And following this, in a day or two, will be how we convert these into an interesting Christmas gift. So let's get started. The very first thing we're going to do is create a circle, a chain of, you could do 6. I did 5. I need a hole in the middle, so we don't want a magic circle. And I tend to crochet a little bit bigger, so I made 5 chains. And around those 5 chains, we're going to put 12 double crochets. So we start with a slip knot and then crochet 6 chains. I'm doing 5. Then in that first chain, do another slip stitch. Very easy, the way we start most crochet projects. We're going to chain 3. Now remember, this is counting as a double crochet. And then we're going to put 11 more double crochets in the ring. Again, we don't use a magic ring because I need the hole in the middle for part of the project. So just keep doing double crochets, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, all the way around till you get to the end. Now it's important to count. If you're a stitch off, well, in this project that I'm going to do next, you don't have to be so particular, but I would suggest get in the habit of it being exact. Now there's that chain 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That last stitch, tricky to find sometimes, is where you want to make the slip stitch to finish that round. Now we have 12 double crochets, technically 11 and a chain 3. Now this represents the some of the 12 stitches we have in that circle of 6 chains. The symbol here is a symbol for double crochet. So there's 6 chains and 12 double crochets. Now what we're going to do is add on the second round a double crochet to each of the double crochets in the first round. Connecting here is going to be a chain 3. That's going to count as a double crochet. And then in each double crochet, we're going to add 2 double crochets. Look at how neat this is. So we started with 12. We're going to end with 24. And that's kind of important. Now, I know a lot of people complain about crochet because they have to do so much counting. Well, most needlework, you do a lot of counting. So in the end, we're going to wind up with something that looks like this, much neater than my artistic abilities could show. So we have, technically this is a chain 3, but we're counting it as a double crochet. And again, remember, this is the ring. And it starts to grow that way. This is what it looks like. Oops. A bootsy blooper. Well, not really. It's more of a clarification. If you remember when we made the chain, the 6 chains, the first double crochet was really 3 chains. So that was really 3 chains, but we count that as a double crochet. Just wanted to make the diagram clearer. Sorry about that. So to begin, of course, here's our chain 3. Now, here's where it can be tricky. The chain 3 is on top of the chain 3 from the previous row, you see. Now, instinct says you might want to put the hook in there, but that's over the first double crochet. Here is where the hook needs to go. And frankly, any one of those spots there is fine, just so long as you don't put it in that first double crochet. You want it always to be associated with that chain 3 from the previous row. Now that gives us 2 double crochets in that stitch. I mean, really, it's a chain 3 plus a double crochet. Now you just go around with 2 double crochets in each stitch from the previous row. So we're doubling the number of stitches from 12 to 24. This is what it looks like when you're almost ready to connect. You must count. Here you really have to count. It's very easy to make a counting error. And you want to wind up with the exact number 24. Otherwise, your circle's not going to be flat. We're coming to the point where we're going to join this row to make the second round circle. There's that 3 chains into the top loop. It can be a little ornery. You just want to make sure you get it into that top loop if you can, the top chain. Pull it through, and we're ready to begin row 3. So here's what round 2 looks like. Can you see the 2 stitches in one of the previous rounds stitch? Just 1 stitch, 2 stitch. We did that all the way around, and we ended with 24 stitches. It's kind of important to count if you're doing other than a craft project, I would guess, or especially if you're doing the amaguri, amagama, or those dolls and things. I have a teddy bear I made. I have to find it. Anyway, so moving on from this, we're going to the 3rd round. Now this is where the pattern begins to making the circles flat. Now can you see where there are 2 stitches in one previous row stitch, then we do a single stitch in that next previous row stitch, and 2 in the next one. Let me show you on my wonderful diagram. So I'll use green here. I like to start with the 2 stitches. It's just easier. So remember, this is really a chain 3 that acts like a double crochet. So we're going to put 2 double crochets in this stitch, 1 in the next stitch, then 2 in the next stitch, 1 in the next stitch, all the way around. Now that makes it difficult to watch television or something where you're concentrating, where it takes your concentration away, because you can make a mistake and you'll wind up with a wonky kind of circle. But it's really very easy. Now, guess what's going to happen on the row after that? Well, I'll show you in a minute. But first, let's work on the 3rd row. For row 3, I thought it would be helpful to switch colors and show you in more detail. I know this may be overkill for some, but I've been getting a lot of questions on details like this. So what I did here, which is very easy to do, is I finished row 2 completely and added white by just slip stitching into any one of the previous row stitches. Here's my chain 3. Can you see that? 1, 2, 3. In that same stitch that I attached the chain 3, I put my first double crochet. So now we have 2. So the pattern for row 3 is 2, then 1, 2, then 1, 2, then 1. And you do that all the way around to the end, and you're ready for the next row. Now we do more than one stitch in a stitch on a lot of projects. If you're making a shell stitch, things like that, you need more than one, even when you're reducing sometimes, or adding rather. And so you just keep going all the way around. Now I hope that made some more sense. So that's row 3. It actually looks nice when you start changing colors. And it's very easy. You just finish the row off and attach a new color, and then weave in the ends when you're done. Okay, on to row 4. Okay, row 4. Let me finish up row 3. Now, this I thought was important. The pattern is 2, 1, 2, 1. And it has to continue when the circle is completed as well. So we need 2, 1, 2, the beginning 2. I also thought it'd be fun to just change colors again and let you see how easy it is to change colors here. There's 2 ways, but the easiest way is chain 3. 1, 2, 3 from the previous row. Go into the top chain of that. Pull through as a slip stitch. Okay. Now you can pull this out now, which I guess I will, or you can do another slip stitch for security. Pull that out. Oops, it's unraveling on me here. There we go. And now I'm going to weave in the end. And here I'm going to just go down any way I can to hide this end. And I'm going to go to the back where you won't see any of this, depending on the project. Now see here you have a whole bunch of places you can put the needle through. This is just a big old plastic needle there. And trim the end. And as they say in the Low Country, that ain't going nowhere. Now, for row 4, adding a color, I'm just going to make a slip stitch. I'm going to pick any stitch. Now remember, here's the start or finish here. I'm going to pick any stitch here, any place. Bring that yarn through, and now we're starting right from the 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. In that, now this is a little easier because we went in a stitch, not in a chain. By the way, I've been saying rows. It's rounds, of course, when you're doing something in the round, it's rounds. So this is round 4. You know, you get nervous doing these. Even though I've been doing a few of them, I still get nervous. And, you know, being a senior, I'm struggling catching those words into the sky. There's a word, another word I forgot. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Chain 3. Now, we know we're going to start with 2 in 1 stitch. And the previous row, if you remember, row 3 is 2, 1, 2, 1. This row then will be 2, 1, 1. We added an extra single crochet. See that? So it's double, 2 of them in here. 2. And then 1. And then 1. And then 2. In that 1 stitch. Let me show you the pattern. I think the changing color helps a little. Now, oh, this is much clearer with changing colors. So here's our 2 that we started with, and there's 1. And there's another one. Here's 2, then 1, then 1. Okay, and you just complete that pattern all around until you get back to the beginning. Now with round 4 done, 1, 2, 3, 4th round, the pattern continues. 2, 1, 1, and there better be a 2 coming up or else I made a mistake. And there's our 2. So we'll go into the top of this 1, 2, 3 chains from the previous row, round, and I'm going to cut this off because I like the way the 2 colors are showing the stitches. And again, you'd weave this in. I'm not going to take that time right now. So grab a hold of the white make a slip knot any way you know how to do. Pick somewhere. I'm going to just arbitrarily pick this stitch. Bring the thread, the yarn through, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now round 4 had a pattern of 2 double crochets in one stitch, then 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2, 1, 1, 2. So you can guess what round 5 is. Round 5 is 2, and then it's going to be 1, 1, 1, 2. That's 2, 1, 1, 1. Two in this one stitch, and then 1, 1, 1. Let's take a look at that. So here's our 2 from the beginning. Then we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and here's 2 in this space, in this stitch. And you follow that pattern all the way around. So 2, 1, 1, 1. We know there has to be 2 in the next. And you get kind of a rhythm about this, and it goes very fast. One thing that can confuse you, be careful you don't pay any attention to these, to where the 2 stitches are in the previous row. That really should not affect the row you're working on. And you keep at this all the way around, and you wind up with flat circles. Now we're only going to be needing rounds of 5, maybe 6 or 7. If that happens, in my future projects we'll do a quick show demo on that. But look at how nice they lay flat. And this I haven't blocked them. I haven't hit them with steam or anything. They just lay beautifully flat. Perfect. So I hope my long drawn out explanation of how to make flat circles with double crochet helped you, and maybe gave you some ideas on what to make with circles. But you can do this with single crochets as well, at half doubles. But I like the way the double crochets turn out, especially for a demonstration. So, onward to the next project. Who knows what that will be. I want to thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and give some circles a chance. There's so much you can do with them. Hats, purses, decorations, so much. Thank you again. Please stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and bye for now.